Hello everyone, this is Grace. It is October the 12th, 2024, and we're going to be taking a second look at the story of Cain and Abel. Now, I'm not going to go over what we went over in the first video, but I wanted to add a little bit more understanding to what we had learned. So let's take a look at these verses again. Genesis 4:3. And in process of time, well, let's provide a little context. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted, and if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. We've gone too far already. We don't need the whole story. It should be familiar to you. It's a fairly popular story. We're going to take a look at these two verses here. In the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground, an offering unto the Lord. It says a meat offering or a meal offering in Leviticus. In Leviticus 2, in the King James Version, it says a meat offering, but it's a meal offering. It's a non-meat offering. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock. Now, when I did it the first time, I missed this word here also. So what we're looking at here is not a regular offering. It is a first fruits offering. So he said, and Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock. This is the first fruits offering. So he brought the first fruits offering, the birthright, the firstborn. He brought of the first, this is the firstborn, and he brought the fat, which is the first fruits offering. We haven't gone over that yet, but I will be doing a video for that. So the fat portion is going to be the first fruits portion, and he brought the firstborn and his first fruits as his offering. Now there is a meal offering that you can do. Let's take a look at it. And when any will offer a meat offering, it's a meal offering, a grain offering unto the Lord, his offering shall be a fine flour. This portion is not real. It requires something additional to be added, which is not part of your 10%, your first fruit, or the firstborn offering. It's not only that, it would make the offering system a system of, it would be a respecter of persons, because it would then only be for the rich. And, well, tithing is only for the rich, and there's scriptures for that. I found an additional scripture beside Jacob, though I don't recall what it is right now. Offerings, you're just supposed to, no, I think it's part of the tithe. I'm not sure. I would count the first fruits offering. Let me see. He who is so, I do remember part of it. He who is so impoverished. I don't know. I can't answer right now. And if thou offer a meat offering of thy first fruits unto the Lord, thou shalt offer for the meat offering of thy first fruits green ears of corn dried by the fire, even corn beaten out of full ears. Again, It's a flour. So you can offer a flour offering unto God as a meal offering, as a portion of your garden. I wish I would have put it in here. Let's read through these errors first. And thou shalt put oil upon it and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering. No, it is not. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of beaten corn thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is not. It is going to be a first fruits offering, because the Lord cannot command you to make an offering. It's against his own rules, and he cannot lie. So this, either it's not real, or it's a first fruits offering, because it's not a tithe. So that's all it can be. So this is making it a respecter of persons. It is not required. It's too rich. And it's a first fruits offering is never burned. It's not burned. It's taken to the temple. So anyway, you have your offering. And I'm trying to think if I want to go find that scripture for you. Let's just see what I have next. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering, an offering made by fire unto the Lord. So this is the first fruits offering for a meat offering. The fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards. So I don't know enough about the beasts and how the slaughtering beasts, how this works. But that fat, I guess the fat on the belly, and the two kidneys and the fat that's on them, which is by the flanks and the caul. So the kidneys and the caul and the fat that's around them, and the fat that's on the belly, that's over the inwards. I may not be translating this correct, because I'm quite unfamiliar with the slaughtering of beasts. So, but that's close enough. That's your first fruits offering when you would slaughter a beast. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof is the ways of death. I want to show you. I'm going to go ahead and look this up here. Hold on. Oh, I could have just hit search, but nope. Let's see. Now, I know this is in the Bible several times. It teaches you over and over. It's not really the offering so much as how you make the offering that is important to God. He does not want you imitating the ways of the heathen. So, I know it's in there several times, but I can only remember the first time I learned it. And that is when the heathen had taken over, the Assyrians had taken over the northern kingdom. And they saw the altars that were built by the children of Israel, and so they tried to make offerings upon it. And every time they tried to make offerings upon it, lions would come and kill them. So they went and got one of the heathen ministers that used to minister at the northern temple. And that heathen priest taught them how to offer offerings on the temple of God, the fake temple of God that they had built, which had a cow at the hem, by the way. Hold on, let me find it. And 12 lions, where is it at? Here we go. Good. I didn't want to have to pause you. Okay. So I want you to think about this now. You've got an entire nation of people, all of which worship God. They know the worship system. If you had to slaughter all of those beasts at the temple, none of them could have left. Their conscience would not have let them leave because they would have been too far away from the temple in order to slaughter the beasts. So they gladly, gleefully, and willingly moved and adopted the king, a different king. I can't remember. Jeroboam? I can't remember his name. Jeroboam? Okay. And he set up 2 temples for them. They all had to understand that none of those rules about slaughtering beasts were true. It just wasn't true. They didn't need all of that in order to worship. Your worship is very simple. It's very simplistic. These beasts, all of these slaughters, all of these rules, it was never given to the children of God. It was never given to Israel. Here we go. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Cutha and from Ava and from Hamath and from Seraphim and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there, they feared not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them and slew some of them. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the God of the land. Wherefore hath he sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of the land. And the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let them teach them the manner of the God of the land. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord. Howbeit every nation made gods of their own, and put them in their houses of the high places, which we'll talk about that more later, which the Sumerians had made, every nation in their cities wherein they dwelt. So they had their gods, they had their high places, but when they went to make a sacrifice, hold on, I said that somewhere in here, I'm sure. I'll see if I can find it quickly. If not, we'll have to move on. Well, this is the end of the study, so no, I guess. No, I guess that's it. Okay, well. And the Abbots made, well, this is the way I understood it. They were making sacrifices the wrong way. And when the person of Israel came along, he taught them the correct way to worship. And where's it at? And so the beginning of their dwelling, the king of Assyria commanded, and one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord. But they still had their own gods, and they still put them in their houses in high places. But they would respect what was the Lord's and his temple and his place, and so on and so forth. You cannot just worship God any old kind of way. You have to fear him. And he doesn't want you worshiping him the way the pagans worship. He doesn't want that. And let me tell you why. We're at 14 minutes. I should have ended this a while ago. But I'm just going to tell you why really quick. Well, actually, I have a good example. When I'm interpreting the scriptures and I'm looking for errors, one of the things that I look for is, for lack of a better word, things that are dumb. I don't have a better word. I'm sorry. Things that are so, here's things that are so dumbed down, it would be almost impossible for you not to understand it. It's like if you are a grown person and you have to, and someone says, hey, I bought you a book, and they come to you and they give you a children's book, like a book of nursery rhymes, and you're like, what would make you think that I would get some enjoyment out of reading a sentence of 3-letter words, you know? That's one of the things I look for. You have been given a gift on this earth that no other animal has. You have the ability to think, to make decisions for right or wrong, to judge. You have an intellect. You operate as an intellectual, whereas other animals operate by instinct. And so the Lord does not insult your intellect. He can actually guide your intellect, so why should he insult your intellect? He has no reason to talk down to you. He knows exactly what you're capable of, and he can point you to the scriptures that you need to see and help you learn them. So when you see something in the Bible that's extremely dumbed down, then it's not of God. When it's written out 2 or 3 times, and when they go through these long diatribes in order to make sure you understand perfectly what it is, this is just one of the things that I noticed when they are making up stuff. You know, the more I read, the more I can kind of grasp their lies, especially when I have a better knowledge of the Bible. Like the tithing system. That's all you give. That knocks out all of those sacrificial offerings. They're unbiblical. They just are. And none of them, it doesn't matter how that they have book after book after book after book of them. They have book after book after book of lies. Plain and simple. They have book after book of lies because they clearly believe that the more the better. and it has worked so far. It has worked for them very well so far. It's not working anymore. Now we have the revised Passover week. We're understanding the Bible and God's ways more and more. Cain understood God's ways. He knew what the first fruits offering was. He was supposed to make a first fruits offering. He didn't want to worship the way God told him to worship. He wanted to worship the way he wanted to worship. So even though he went and he got the best of his crop and he got the best fruit and the best from his ground, it meant nothing. And it meant nothing because it doesn't draw the picture which God needed to draw in order to save us. Because we need to look at these things, draw an illustration from them, and then understand what's going on in the process of our salvation. This, Cain's offering, breaks the symbolism. It breaks the pattern. And it causes trouble just the same as the lies that are put in the Bible cause trouble with the illustrations that are given. This offering of Abel, he followed the command of God, which God gave for a reason which Cain didn't understand. He just thought, I'm going to give you the best. What difference does it make? It makes a difference because this book has to last thousands of years to reach down, thousands of years to educate people so that we can look, see the patterns, recognize them for what they are, and say this part of the Bible is true. That's why Cain's offering could not be accepted for you. It couldn't be accepted for you. And that's why Abel's could. because Abel brought in a first fruits offering and the firstborn offering according to the dictates of God, which were set forth in the Bible for your understanding. For your understanding. All right. A lot of words, a few scriptures. I hope it helps with your understanding. We'll say more about this later, but I wanted to add this part in here for us. All right, that's all I have. I will talk with you in the next video.